Get yourself a nice, beautiful roast chicken. We love the chicken, the pork, the sausage, everything they do at Pelkin Smoky Meats, and you can call and make sure that they've got it for you. But it's important to, make sure it's, I like to rinse it, pat it dry, and one of the most important things to do when you're roasting a chicken is preheat that oven. I crank it up at the beginning to 425. I think a lot of people are scared about, putting their oven temperature that high. Don't be. You need to get that chicken going, and then you'll turn it back down, but you'll get a delicious, nice, crispy skin. The other thing I'm gonna do is really give this chicken some great flavor without it being overpowering. So this is a lemon, garlic, and herb roast chicken, and it's just amazing. And there's lots of drippings. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I've got about a half of a stick, about 4 tablespoons of butter. And if you can pull it out at room temperature. I don't want it melted, I just want it room temperature. So if you're just picking up a chicken at Pelkin Smoky Meats and you didn't think to pull out the butter, you can put it in the microwave for like 5 seconds, not much longer than that, because you just want it just softened. Now to that butter, I'm actually going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil from Greenbay Olive Oil Company, and some of their flavored oils would be wonderful in this, like their Italian Tuscan herb. I'm going to add some fresh garlic to this, but you could, if you didn't want to mess with the fresh garlic, you could use the jarred garlic, or we love the squeezed garlic that I always have in the fridge here. But you could also use the garlic flavored olive oil from Greenbay Olive Oil Company. So I'm just going to give the garlic a rough chop. And what I'm going to dress up this chicken with is just simple stuff that you've probably already got on hand. Nothing real fancy, but it really makes a difference. So once I kind of get that nice and chopped up, doesn't have to be perfect, I'm going to take the garlic, get it in there with the butter and the olive oil. Again, I've got my oven. It was preheated to 425 degrees, and you'll see why when I pull this bad boy out of the oven in just a few. It smells so good in here that everybody who's walked in the studio is like, what is in the oven? And you'll see. So then I'm going to take a little bit of salt, freshly ground black pepper. I like to go a little heavy on the black pepper. And then because our butter is at room temperature, I can just kind of mash it up with a fork. The other thing I'm going to add is some fresh lemon zest. And this is something that, I never grew up with. When you're making a lemon meringue pie, nobody really used the zest. That's something that's become so on trend, and for good reason. You've got the lemon anyway. I'm going to use lemon in this recipe, but it's just a great way to pump up the flavor. So try that next time you're making a recipe with lemon, just adding a little of the lemon zest. And I'm going to do the zest of about 2 lemons. And this just smells so fresh and yummy. Okay. Beautiful. You can also do a little bit of lemon juice in here. And now we're going to have some fun. And save this, don't throw this out. We're not done with it yet. So you're going to take like a paring knife and kind of loosen up the skin. Nice clean hands, and you want to not take the skin off. Loosen it up, because we're going to smear like you'd smear cream cheese on a bagel. Some of that butter under the skin, so it kind of really gets into the chicken breasts, which I think chicken breasts get a really bad rap because they can get dry. So this is going to help with that and just give it some great flavor. This is great to do at Thanksgiving. I can't even believe we're talking Thanksgiving, but it'll be here before you know it. So this is a yummy thing to do with the turkey too. And this is just messy. I mean, there's just no way to go about this without making a big old mess. So I'm just gonna use my hands, and now we're gonna rub this all over the skin. And then when this bakes, it's gonna make the skin nice and crispy, but then the butter will melt into the drippings from the chicken. And this is about a 3-pound bird. Sometimes if you can get, you know, do 2 of them, why not? Then you'll have the leftovers to make, you know, chicken soup and white chicken chili. And, you know, if you're doing it anyway, why not do a couple of them, especially if they're on sale. Sometimes, like I say, it's really a great value. So this isn't pretty, I know, I apologize. And you'll do better than me. Got butter hands. Okay, now we're gonna wash these buttery hands. So again, that oven is preheated to 350 degrees. And notice we've still got some lemon left, and we've also got some, I think I'm gonna really need to wash these after the show because they are still coated with butter. Okay. So at this point, I like to season it a little bit more with salt and pepper. And then I'm gonna do some things with that onion and the lemon. I'm gonna actually stuff some of it into the cavity. I think a lot of people forget to do that, and unless you're stuffing the bird, why not give this some more flavor? So one of the things that I have always done growing up is you can actually take a whole lemon if you get a small one and just take a fork and kind of pierce it. And if the lemon is small enough, you can stick the whole lemon into the cavity. And it's gonna give it so much flavor. Let's see if I can get this guy in here. I also am gonna take an onion. Now I happen to be growing some, and I'm just gonna kind of chunk it up, and I can throw it around the chicken, I can throw it in the cavity, and then you can do some of the wedges. You saw that chicken or that lemon that I squeezed some of the juice in. He can go around too, that lemon, because more lemon is going to give the drippings some more flavor. Herbs, some of the herbs, rosemary, fresh or dried, is wonderful. I'm still growing, and my rosemary is still doing fantastic. Probably the end of it, I need to harvest that, but that's in a big pot. So if you've got rosemary, thyme, oregano, fresh herbs are wonderful with this roast chicken. But if you've got just dried, that works too, when we love our herbs, dried herbs and seasoning blends from Bulk Price Food. So I'm gonna try and get that whole lemon. Oh, we got the giblets in here. Take that out. And you can actually keep these and make a gravy. There's lots you can do with them if you don't wanna, throw them out. But I'm gonna get that lemon in here. He worked, he got in there. And then I'm gonna take some onion, throw that in there. And then you can kind of roast the lemon with it too, and some onion around. Sometimes you could put some celery in there, you could put some carrots, you can even put potatoes around there if you wanna. Sometimes I'll do a little more lemon on the skin, and then definitely wanna do some herbs, dried or fresh, and sometimes I'll just even leave them whole, just to make it pretty. And you can stuff some of this is thyme, but rosemary and thyme, or a combination. You can stuff some of the herbs in the cavity along with that onion and the lemon. I've made a huge mess here, but I can't wait to show you how this looks. So we started this out 425, put the chicken in there for about 20 to 30 minutes. At that point, you're gonna notice the skin starts getting really dark. Not really dark, but it starts browning, and that's why we crank it up at the beginning. Then we turn it down. Everybody's oven is different. I do about 350, so bring it back down from 425 to about 350. And I do this with my turkey too, just to kind of get it going. And then roast it until it's cooked through. Use an internal meat thermometer. It normally takes about an hour. After I've initially cranked it up, 425, for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, then crank it down to 350, 375, 350 for another hour. So about an hour and a half. You want to make sure it's cooked through. Holy drippings. This is what I'm talking about. So this has been in here for about an hour and a half. I mean, talk about the skin is beautifully crisp. In the cavity, we've got the lemon and the onion. We've got the herbs. I love serving this. I love turkey gravy, you know, thickened turkey gravy, but sometimes I love and the chicken gravy would be great too, with cornstarch or flour and a little water, and you could simmer it on the stove with mashed potatoes or over noodles. That would be delicious. But sometimes I really like this, just the drippings themselves with the chicken over like rice pilaf or wild rice in this case, because those have such a lemony, lovely butter flavor. And it's just a nice light way to serve it, especially lots of the drippings over the chicken itself. Oh, one of my favorite things to do, roast a whole chicken.